My girlfriend texted, "Your ex is in town. I'm at his hotel to see him. Don't panic." It was the moment something inside me stopped. I remember staring at the text on my phone, my thumb hovering over the keyboard, my heart pounding, heavy as if warning me to calm down. For a moment, I thought it was a joke, maybe a cliché. But no, she was completely serious. I was 32, she was Madison, 29. We'd been living together for a year and a half. Not married, but close enough that the routines were settled. Sunday grocery shopping, Netflix in bed, sharing bills. Not perfect, but comfortable, stable, honest, or at least I thought so. I was sitting at my desk, engrossed in a spreadsheet. And then a text came in. She said very casually, "My ex is in town." And then, as if that wasn't enough, she added, "I'm staying at his hotel to catch up." Like it was no big deal. She made it seem like it was normal and said something innocent. "Don't be so insecure." That made me jump. It wasn't a request. It was a warning, a preemptive defense. She was telling me what I wasn't allowed to feel, as if any reaction I had, any confusion, anger, or hurt would automatically make me the bad guy. For a moment, I just sat there at my desk, the screen glowing with spreadsheets I suddenly couldn't read. I work in data analytics, which sounds smarter than it actually is, mostly formulas, recipes, and coffee. But in that moment, none of that mattered. My brain was running a completely different equation. Madison plus X plus hotel equals I'm screwed. I could have texted back something angry, like, "Are you crazy?" But I didn't, because I knew exactly how that would go. She would call me controlling, jealous, toxic. The argument would go on and on until I somehow apologized, so I didn't tell her that. Instead, I typed 2 words, "Sounds like fun." She replied within seconds, "Great. See you in a few days. You're the best." And just like that, she was gone. But the thing is the knot in my stomach. It didn't get tighter. It was gone. It was replaced by something sharper, colder, a clarity I hadn't felt in months. Because if she wanted to play single, I was going to help her make it official. I sat there for a long time, listening to the hum of the computer fan. Then, almost in some sort of order, I opened my notebook and started making a list. Call the movers, call the locksmith, cancel her card if she wanted space to catch up. She was about to have all the space in the world by 2:15 p.m. I was on the phone with a moving company called Silverline Relocations, the kind that handles sensitive situations for executives who don't want to be noticed. The man on the phone didn't ask any questions, nor did he seem surprised when I told him I needed same-day packing and storage for a resident moving out immediately. He gave me a number that made my jaw drop, $2,600 plus fees. "Done," I said. "Be here by 4. By 2:30, I was on the phone with a locksmith. I wanted new lock-eye security, no duplication. He said he could be there by 6. Perfect, by 2:40. I logged into my bank account and removed Madison from the authorized user list on my credit card, the card she used for shopping, Uber rides, and self-care days that somehow always ended at the spa.click. Moved, it was strange how calm I felt, like I was working on a project, not finishing a relationship. But it turned out to be a logistical problem. At 4 p.m., the movers showed up, 3 men in grey shirts, professional, polite, efficient. "What's going on?" the leader asked. I gestured around the apartment. Everything is obviously hers. Clothes, furniture, shoes, pictures, makeup, plants. If you're not sure, ask me. They nodded. No judgment, no curiosity, just business. Watching them pack was strange. All of Madison's chaos, hundreds of pairs of shoes, bottles of cosmetics, stacks of unread books. The ridiculous mustard jello armchair she insisted brought the room together was gone in pieces, swallowed up by cardboard boxes. When they reached her nightstand, they found a small wooden box covered in stickers, its edges worn. She called me 12 times that night. First one ring, then silence, then 2, 3. Finally, like an alarm clock, call after call, each more desperate than the last. I let them all go to voicemail. Around midnight, my phone rang again, this time with a text message. Can you pick up? I just want to explain. I didn't answer. 10 minutes later, another text message came. This time, longer. It's not what you think. He contacted me, said he wanted to end things. I just wanted to hear what he had to say. I swear nothing happened. I'm sorry if he misunderstood me. I almost laughed. From there, it was basically relationship bleach, cleaning up the mess you made. She kept sending messages, apologies, excuses, little paragraphs of guilt and manipulation. I read each message, slowly, calmly, but I didn't reply, because the truth is, silence is louder than anger, and right now, I wanted her to feel every second of it. Around 1 a.m., another message. I didn't even go into his room. I just wanted to leave something he left at your house. I promise, I was thinking about you the whole time. That message stopped me, not because I believed her, but because I could see the change, the panic turning into drama. She wasn't apologizing for feeling guilty. She was apologizing for losing control, controlling me, and when people like her lose control, they don't think they struggle. Of course, I didn't reply. I put my phone face down on the bedside table, turned off the light, and let the darkness consume her messages. By 2 a.m., the notifications had gone off. Silence again. A pure, peaceful, beautiful silence. When I woke up the next morning, my phone was full, missed calls, texts, even voicemails. Out of curiosity, I answered. Her voice was trembling. I can't believe you did that. You didn't even talk to me first. I was honest with you. You just ignored me like I was nothing. How could you be so cold? That made me smile. See, people like her never think their actions matter. Your reaction was always too harsh, too abrupt, too cold. She wasn't upset that I was hurt. She was upset that I wasn't playing my usual role, the tolerant, understanding boyfriend who would talk it out until things returned to normal. But I wasn't kidding anymore. Around noon, she showed up at my office. I only knew this because security called to ask if I wanted to let a young lady in. I checked the camera. There she was, standing in the lobby, wearing the same jacket she'd worn the night before. Her makeup was smudged, her hair was messy, her phone was clutched like a life preserver. For a moment, I almost felt something, pity maybe, even nostalgia. Then I remembered the text message. My ex is in town. Don't worry, I told the security guard. No, she's not allowed in. I watched her expression on the screen as the guard spoke to her. Her lips moved. She was pleading. Then finally, her shoulders slumped. She turned and walked out. I thought it was over, but at 6 p.m. she texted again. I've gone too far. I know. Please, can we talk? I'll explain everything in person. I'll wait outside if you need me. She wasn't lying about that evening. When I got home, she was there sitting on the front steps, holding a cup of coffee as if she'd been there for hours. When she saw me, she stood up quickly. Her eyes were red, tired, maybe even sincere. "Can we talk?" she whispered. I choked up. "You're talking now." Her lips trembled. "Not like this. Can we go in?" I looked at the door behind me, the door with the new lock gleaming in the porch light. "I don't belong in here anymore." She swallowed. "I don't understand." "It's not," I interrupted her. "Then explain. Here, no audience. No drama." She hesitated, glancing around the deserted street. Then she said, "He texted me from somewhere. Said he was in town and wanted to return some of my stuff." I didn't think it was a big deal. I raised an eyebrow. "So you thought meeting him at the hotel was the right choice?" She looked down. "I didn't go inside. We met in the lobby." "Yes," I said flatly, "because it made things better." Her voice caught. "I think you cheated." "I think," I said slowly, "that you don't care enough to make me not think that." She was startled. Tears welled up, but I stood still. "I made a mistake," she whispered. "I should have told you before. But you didn't even let me a chance to explain." I tilted my head. "You didn't give me a chance to trust you." For a moment, we just stood there, two people who used to know every corner of each other's lives. Now strangers, divided by one locked door and a dozen bad decisions. Finally, she said, "I miss you." I nodded slowly. "You miss control." Her expression broke, a mix of anger and heartbreak. "You really don't care, do you?" "I cared," I said, "until you told me not to." She looked at me one last time, waiting for something, an opening, a hint that maybe I'd forgive her if she said the right words. But there wasn't anything left to say. I stepped past her, unlocked the door, and walked inside. Before I closed it, I said quietly, "Take care of yourself." The door clicked shut. And just like that, her chapter ended. That night, she didn't call again. No texts, no apologies. Just silence, the kind that doesn't hurt anymore. And for the first time, I realized that sometimes closure doesn't come from a conversation. It comes from a locked door, a calm heart, and the strength to never reopen either. 3 months passed. It's strange how quickly someone's voice can fade from your daily life. The first week, I still found myself checking my phone, half expecting a message, half dreading it. By the 3rd week, I no longer noticed the silence. By the 2nd month, I started to enjoy it. I bought a new sofa, rearranged the living room, started cooking for myself. I even joined a gym, mostly because I needed something to do with the free time I used to spend trying to fix other people's chaos. It felt good. No excitement, no drama, just peace. But peace never lasts in stories like mine. One Saturday morning, while drinking coffee at my usual downtown cafe, I heard a familiar voice call my name. I turned around. It was her. The same smile, but the energy was different. She looked smaller, not physically, but mentally, like someone who had been tempered by time. "Hey," she said softly, holding her coffee cup in a gesture of peace. "Hey," I said. There was an awkward pause, the kind where we both knew there was too much going on to pretend like nothing was happening. "Can I sit?" she asked. I pointed to the chair across from us. "Please." She sat down, and for a moment neither of us spoke. There was only the sound of the cafe, the clink of spoons, the distant chatter, the hum of the espresso machine. Finally, she said, "You look good." "Thanks," I said. "You too." She smiled slightly. "I didn't think you would agree if I wanted to see you. So I just showed up." I took a sip of coffee. "You're right." She looked down, embarrassed. "I know I don't deserve to ask, but can I explain something? Just once. For me, not for you." I nodded slowly. "Go ahead." She took a breath, as if about to dive underwater. "That night," she began, "I didn't go there to cheat. I went there because I wanted to feel something familiar. We'd been fighting a lot, and I felt like I was about to lose him. When he texted me, it felt like a relief. But when I got there, I realized I didn't even want to see him. I just wanted someone to want me." She paused, looking up at me, her eyes blank but determined. "I know that doesn't excuse it. I need you to know that it wasn't him. It was me being too weak to face what I'd destroyed between us." I let her words hang in the air. They no longer hurt. I'd dried that wound months ago. "I understand," I said softly. "People look for comfort in the wrong places. It doesn't make them evil, just lost." She blinked, surprised by my calm. "Do you hate me?" she asked. I smiled weakly. "No, I just don't love you anymore." The sentence, short, clear, decisive, seemed stronger than any insult. She nodded, biting her lip, as if trying not to cry in public. "After a while," she said, "I remember that night, about you packing my things, sending that bill. I felt so cold. But now I understand. You weren't being cruel. You were just drawing a line, that's all," I said. "A line that should have been drawn a long time ago." She sighed, a soft sigh of surrender. "I wish I'd realized what I had before I lost it." "We all do," I said, stirring my coffee. "That's how we learn." She looked at me for a long time, looking for something that wasn't there anymore. Maybe a spark, maybe hope. But what she found was a man who had grown, who had overcome the chaos. "I'm happy for you," she said finally. "You look relieved." "Yes," I said. "And I hope you do too." She nodded, stood up, and for a moment I thought she was going to reach out, maybe touch my hand, maybe hug me goodbye. But she didn't. She just gave me a small smile, both sweet and bitter, and said, "Take care." "Me too." And that was it. She walked away, disappearing into the crowd outside. No dramatic goodbye. No final look over her shoulder, just a quiet departure. Like a chapter ending halfway through. I watched through the cafe window as she turned the corner and disappeared. Then I turned back to my coffee, steam rising from it like a sigh of relief. There's something strange about closure. We always think it has to come from an apology, from hearing the other person finally say, "I'm sorry." But true closure comes from within. It's when you can look back at the person who hurt you and change. A few weeks later, I got an email from the storage company. Her unit had been emptied. No note. No message. Just gone. I smiled. It felt symbolic, like she'd finally taken back the last piece of what connected us that night. I deleted her contact, archived our photos, and opened a new playlist, the kind filled with songs that didn't remind me of anyone. Life didn't suddenly become perfect, but it became mine. Sometimes, people think revenge means making someone else hurt, but the real revenge is indifference. It's living so well that Their absence stops meaning anything at all. And that's exactly what I did.